guys, it's March 22nd. Cold and rainy today. On the books for today, we're gonna drive up and get a water / fertilizer tank. We sold our big leg tank for a flat bottom tank. So I like to have a tank of water. I just fill a tank of water and I draw off of that. We used to go into town and get water, but it's too much work. When Dad was around, we were able to. That was fine. He would truck water to me when I was spraying. But now, just get a 3,000 gallon tank to fill, and then we can also then use it for fertilizer. Just gonna get one for now because I don't really know where I want to put it. And the guys got 3, but I didn't want to get all 3 and then not know where I want to put them, because our yard's kind of a mess. So anyways, we're going to go get stuff fed, and then we'll probably go get that tank earlier today, and then so we're back in time to do some more stuff in the barn. All right, so Joe got started tearing that stuff out, so we're going to move all that stuff, and then we'll maybe clean this out when we get back this afternoon. It's supposed to be really windy and crappy today. So, but we shipped a Free Martin Holstein heifer that we had in here, and she was not the biggest in the pen by any means, but she was close to, well, we just went over a truck scale, and based on what Joe tared plus less the fuel that he used, we figured she weighed right around 1,800 pounds full of feed, so probably take or she was like 1,850, so probably take 75 pounds off for feed. So they're big in here because she wasn't the biggest. So I think we're gonna send the biggest ones on Monday, just because the uncertainty of April 2nd. So technically we can ship April 1st, and if they get across the border April 1st before midnight, well then they'll be fine. But I don't imagine anybody is gonna give a day or take a day or want to leave it to the last minute to get stuff across the border. So technically next Tuesday is our last day we can ship before the pending tariffs get implemented. So some of these cattle could use maybe another 3-4 weeks, but I still think they're gonna sell well and be worth a lot, because sure, you could give up $100 or $200 a head with them being maybe not as heavy as they need to be, or you can give up $1,000 a head and have the extra feed costs because the tariffs are in place and we haven't got a solution to that yet. So that's kind of what we're thinking. Like that guy there, he's pretty rounded off and he's deep. The one along the back wall there, he's got a big brisket on him. This guy's got a big brisket. This guy here too, he's big. So it's not the whole pen, but it's a lot of the pen we can send, or I think we're gonna send 4 or 5, and then the rest will be ways off yet, but then that'll give them maybe the less aggressive ones or the smaller ones more access to feed, so then they'll start to take off. So that's what I think we'll maybe do. Well, that would be, you got to ship Monday nights, so we'll we'll likely get some footage of that, shipping them on Monday. But for now, let's go check on the calves and get them looked after. And then we're borrowing some neighbor's trailer and truck and going to pick up that tank, because we don't have a fifth wheel hitch in our truck yet. There's plans to put it in, but we want to put one in that you can take the balls out and still put skids in, because there's ones that you can get that, but you can't put skids in. So anyways, we'll go look after some calves. Check the app and see who has an 8. Maybe I'll show you guys that, how I check the app. So here's the app, so we can click on here. That's the feed alarm. So we got a couple new ones that have an 8. Then I just hit home. We'll see who's allowed to eat. Okay. It should show somebody in there. So there's one of the ones that we needed to push up, and they just went right in and ate with me being here. And then you can see how this one's got blue in it. That means it's allotted. And there's one in on the other side, 575. It's not allotted anything right now because we're starting to wean it off. So. And then we can check and see. We can check and see how everybody's doing. So you can see the 47s, the ones at the top are starting to wean off. So they'll be weaned off this week, and then they'll stay in that pen for another couple weeks or until it gets full and we gotta move them. So anyways, we'll get these guys their grain. I got some fresh straw in here for these calves. They'll be happy. Dry them up a bit. So, anyways, let's keep going. All right. Well, I just got Moose in here temporarily till his new accommodations are ready. Joe you'll notice there's big space here. Joe got the combine up to the dealership for an inspection, and then here's our corn planter and our sprayer over the next couple weeks. Well, I'm thinking if we get a good stretch of weather here next week, we might have to get that fired up and outside to get nitrogen on the wheat, but depends on how much rain we get through this little wet spell here, how much then when we'll be putting nitrogen on the wheat. So we got to and then the 210, it probably needs to come out, and it's got to come out as well because we got to put a new fuel sending unit in it so the fuel gauge works on it. So I was hoping if it was going to be sunny this weekend we get the sprayer out, but there still is a risk of freezing, and so you can't. Thing is I need water to. That's the other reason why I want to get that tank. Is I need water because I got to rinse the sprayer out. I used 28 to winterize it so it didn't freeze, but when 28 will sit in the sprayer all day or all winter, it pulls the chemical out of the rubber hoses in it. So we got to flush that out. We can't just top her up with 28 and go put her on. That's not going to be a fun experience when all of a sudden my wheat looks streaky because I've got herbicide carryover from in the sprayer. So just rinse that out. The 28 won't go to use. I'll just put it out ahead of where we're gonna put corn. I'll just stream it out, and then I need some water, and we'll do a complete rinse, and then it should be ready to go for putting 28 on wheat. So, which, if we look at the forecast, let's see, forecast. So that's today, but it does not look like putting 28 on wheat weather for the next little while. But if you're a farmer, you have absolutely zero faith in forecasts. And last year proved that they'd call for a chance of rain and you just get dumped on. So I have little faith in that because it changes daily, and probably by Sunday night they'll have warm weather forecasted. So like I said, it's a crappy day today, so not gonna get the sprayer out, but that is the plan. We got to get the sprayer out, get it ready to get some 28 on the wheat. So I'm gonna go inside. I think Joe had to go pick up some feed and a part from Exeter, and then he was gonna be back, and then we were gonna go head over or borrow the neighbor's truck and trailer and go get that tank. All right, so we got the tanks home. Borrowed the neighbor's truck and trailer. It was a lot snowier and blowier up there, so I didn't get the camera out. I wasn't driving, but wouldn't be much to see on the way up there. It was a bit of a snowstorm where we went, because we went north. But sun's out here. I'm just gonna slip home and grab something to eat and come back and work away in the barn. All right, guys, let's go make some feed.
nicer when you don't have to climb up a snowy bank. So it's not the end of the world. It's only a few months of the year. So anyways, these guys need some feed. Let's go get them some feed. Alright, got a little gray in my beard now. But anyways, there's cracked corn. So this is 2024 corn that we're feeding. So it's a little harder, it's not as light, or it's a different variety of corn. And so it's not cracking as fine as the other one, and there's still the odd whole kernel. So, and there's not a lot of fines in it. So we'll get that shoveled into the bucket, and yeah, we get that into the mixer. Alright, get on the tractor, and then after we get this dumped in there, then we got to come over and get some DDGs for the mix as well. Our DDGs in. So if that's 18 times 10 is 180 plus 890, 1080. I work in round numbers. So we get our DDGs in as pellets. I think I've explained in previous videos of why we do that. Seems to work well for us. So I think Joe likes how the mixer's running now. It doesn't take long to make feed. Well, plus there's no snow to move. That was the problem. You'd spend so much time moving snow and very little time feeding. So anyways, I'll get her mixed up here. Also, my neighbor had some extra grass hay around, so I went and got a bale of it for the goats. The kids are getting close to the age that they can be weaned, and so we want to start drying the does off so they don't need that good alfalfa hay that we were feeding. So, and then I also filled the creep feeder right full, so we'll probably start pulling back the amount of grain that we're feeding them so that they dry down in their bag, they dry off properly, and then essentially then the kids will pretty much wean themselves off, and the does will kick them off. So we used to do fence line, or we used to just pull the kids and then limit the water when we had lots of them, but since they're mostly dolings and there's only a couple buck kids in there, we'll do something different this year. We'll just leave the kids on the does, and when the buck kids get a little bit bigger, when they get close to that 5-month range, we'll pull them out, and then they can go in their own pen. Well, that just about does it for today. See what Joe and I get up to tomorrow. We might try and tackle that. Took a little longer to pick up those fertilizer tanks than we thought, mainly because the roads weren't as good, so we didn't make as good a time up there. And it was just got talking every stop we made. We talked a little longer than we had thought. So anyways, everything's fed, and we should be good to go, and I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. There we go. Nice sunny day. Got the expensive help out. Let's go do some chores. All right, I got the team here. We're picking up sticks, doing some spring cleanup. These old trees are great for shade, but they're a lot of work cleaning up sticks from all the snow. So good help's hard to find, so we're training them and starting them young. All right, well, there was some entertainment for the kids for half an hour picking up sticks. Got a bucket full here. Andrea thinks that we're actually making a beaver lodge. So, but we're just gonna take these back to the burn pile. Alright, gonna get these tanks unloaded. Alright, well, that's where they'll sit. It's not perfect, the ground wasn't level to begin with, and I didn't want to oh, that should be fine. I didn't want to get them too close to the wall here, so you can still get in behind there and spray weeds, but they won't sit here all year. I think what we'll do is we'll just leave it set up for now, so I can come in with the sprayer, turn around out back, and be facing the road, and I'll have my chem inductor and all that stuff set up here. And then they're not in full sun too, which will help them last longer too. So rats were mining underneath that old box liner. So. All right, well, clean up the straps for that trailer and grab the taps that came with the tank. They're just 2-inch taps. Plan is to get one more tank, I think like a 6,000 gallon tank, and then one can stay on water, and then a 6 and a 3 then I can easily buy in a truckload of 28. And there's some significant savings when you buy your 28% or nitrogen fertilizer in the summer over buying it in the spring like we've normally been doing. Seem to be using a little more of it, and like I said, there's quite a price spread between fall and spring that maybe wasn't there before. I don't know why. Dad was always worried about a tank leaking on him and having to buy 28 anyway. So anyways, I'll find some goop and we'll get these things put on. Well, I got my truck cleaned. Joe and I vaccinated and dehorned some calves and took the wheel weights off them if they needed their wheel weights off. So pretty productive Sunday so far. I have no idea what time it is. I don't have my phone or my watch on me. So anyways, I'm gonna leave that video, end off the video here. Really not too much exciting. Hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully we don't get too much winter weather next week. And come the first week April there, we're in the fields getting nitrogen on the wheat. I got the tanks here. I got my list of fittings I need to get those tanks. I'm gonna line up to get some 28 delivered. And the nice part about having the 28 here, when it's on farm, I can go and do the top dressing whenever, and I'm not at the mercy of somebody else's schedule if they're going to be there to fill me up with 28. So anyways, thanks guys, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep it between the ditches.